Good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the lounge. How's everybody doing today? Well, you know, this has been fun so far, right? I haven't done a longer video in a little bit, and the last few, the trend has been downward and all of that stuff. But my shorts are doing pretty good. I'm new in this journey, so I'm still trying to figure out the algorithms, how this all works, and experimenting and having fun. And that's what I'm trying to do. Have fun, bring fun to you guys. So, you know, there was a topic a little bit I want to cover, but the main thing I want to do is thank you guys for your support. As usual, Instagram's doing good, TikTok's doing good, Facebook doing all right. So getting a little something, something as they say. Um, yeah, I got a lot of good feedback, critique, and that's more offline. Like my friends who've seen this, seen my shorts, if you will. Critiquing things, and I try to take all criticism because there's nothing wrong with having somebody critique you or criticize you, as long as they're respectful. So, before I get into what I really wanted to talk to tonight, is is this. I got my first hate YouTube comment. That came out of nowhere, right? I'm actually hanging out with my people, and because I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna give a little bit of myself because I'm new to this and I'm still trying to figure out everything. Anytime I post something or whatever, I stalk it a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, what they saying, that kind of stuff. I think with anybody in that position, that's what they're gonna do, right? So the guy commented on one of my shorts saying that I live in a closet and all of that stuff, and my microphone was too close and everything else like that. So I do not need to show my house, but I do not live in a closet. So let's get that clear and straight because I do not live within the confines of New York City. So if you saw the rest of my content, you would kind of know that. You kind of would have figured it out on your own, especially if you see my longer versions of my video, because you see the reason why I shoot on this wall is because of the paint and the aesthetics and the lighting. But you would understand that you being in the game since 2021 or something like that. Yeah, because, yeah, this dude's about to get roasted right now, real quick, before I get into my content. So, the little backstory is this, just so that you understand. I brought these microphones, right? Let me go to the camera, right? So, with microphone technology is a little bit different because when he made that comment, I checked his channel and it turns out he has videos. So I said, oh, okay, you know what? These guys been in the game for a minute. Let me see what they have. First off, they have two videos, right? And I couldn't even stomach a half an hour of it. And I realized I got dissed by Beavis and Butthead. I'm like, how in the entire fuck does that shit happen? Like, that shit don't even make no damn sense. And then the short you dissed me on, right? My short, that short by itself got more views than your whole channel had views altogether. And you've been in this game longer than me. The only positive comment I could truly give is you got some dope ass mics. Now, because I'm shooting a long video, like I said, these I use for my shorts. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to gauge it. But instead of the proper criticism or, hey, I did this for a minute, whatever, whatever. This is why. See? Like, look at this, right? So this hooks to the phone. So I do my shorts with the phone. So that's kind of a different thing. I'm still trying to tweak that. I'm still trying to figure that out. And these are the microphones, right? And these things are powerful. Like, even when I was testing them out and I laid it on the table when I was filmed the shorts that you guys saw the other day, these microphones actually picked me up while I was next to my front door. Because, like, if you could see a little bit, that would be, like, my front door. And if you're looking a little bit, this is like a long corridor. I'm not going to show my house like that. It's not necessary. Maybe one day I'll do a tour if dude comments back or whatever the case may be. Maybe I'll do a tour just to show you I don't live in a closet. Nevertheless, check this out, Playboy. This is the mic I use for the long ones. And I'm gonna say pause, no Diddy, because my people will roast me if I don't even say that, but you get the point what I'm saying. So I have multiple microphones that I use for recording, and like I said, I've only been doing this since May, and I'm still trying to figure this out. So, like I said, the microphones that they had, they were able to do echo and all that stuff, so that's cool. So, and then they were talking about pegging women and what's a pace. I could not stomach it. I truly legit tried because I really want to be able to take the criticism he had in the shorts, and because I figured you had the experience that I can learn something or I could get something. The only thing I learned is maybe get a microphone with the echoes and all that stuff. That's probably when I get bigger as far as in this space and doing this online content, if you will. But all in all, outside of all of that, because like I said, I was gonna do a deep dive, but I just could not do it. Like it was like watching paint dry, nails to a chalkboard. And you know what's crazy? Like, I'm not in the business to bring down another content creator or whatever. I just had to make myself clear. I'm not a pushover. I don't duck smoke or whatever the case may be. But it's already hard enough to try to make this happen, because as I'm doing this, as I'm growing, this is not an easy task to do. Because, people chase the viral moment and things of that nature. And that's what most people try to do. They try to chase that viral moment and everything else like that. And it's not that easy if you are trying to do it for those reasons. So, like, as I'm learning, as I'm doing this, I just like to do this. Like, it's my way of expressing myself. It's my way of tackling topics and certain things. And then in my regular life, when I do the shorts, this is stuff I see on the internet or, I'll look at the New York Post for regular stories, and it's just stuff I come across, and the headlines crack me up, and then when I read the story, it cracks me up. And I just want to share that side of me, because if that guy would have watched my first video, then he would have recognized that, and coming from the space I'm coming from. So I just wanted to let you know I'm not a pushover. Thank you for the critique, though, because I did comment, told them thank them for the feedback, and I will do better. So now that I addressed that, got that out the way, let's get back to the normally scheduled programming, if you will. So, like I said, I haven't done a long video in a while, and the algorithms don't necessarily like my long videos and things. I haven't figured that shit out yet. But anyway, what caught my attention, right? Well, there's a few things. There's a lot of chaos going on in the world. Like, the election got everybody want to fight each other and all that stuff. And, I'm like, my take on it is, who cares? As far as voting is private. To me, my opinion on all that stuff, voting is private. So in other words, like, you don't run around and ask somebody, like, when's the last time you slept with your wife, or, there's certain questions that are just private, and I feel who you vote for is private. But apparently, on both sides, people need to let you know, and because things are so polarizing, that I think sometimes people do it to get attention. Like they need attention like toddlers and all of that, and I can't get into the psyche of all that because I don't have a psychological degree and I'm not a therapist, so I'm not going to get into all that. That's just my take on the whole thing. So you got people with all of that stuff, right? Got all that going crazy. And then the story that caught my eye was in the world of like the Judge Mathis situation, because as I like to call them nowadays, the big three in the black YouTube space. That's your Angry Man, Coach Greg Adams, and Anton Daniels. They covered it, and they did a great job. And as I watched it, it made me think to myself, just as an everyday person, because these guys are in a different echelon, if you will, and I'm just a regular everyday guy, just going through life, working, trying to do the right thing, stuff like that. You know, as somebody would say, life is lifing, and that's all that is. I realized they were saying that, and if I'm wrong, somebody's definitely gonna correct me, because this is the internet. They always, people are quick to correct you if you fuck up or some shit like that. His wife, well, they were separated for a month, and he's getting divorced because he won't slow down with his work. I said, well, damn. He hustled. You hear his story when his show was on, that's syndicated. Started from the streets and smoked crack and shit like that. Like, even when he does his litigation, he's like, yeah, I used to run down on the streets and I was a drug addict and I turned my whole life around, and all that stuff. When somebody's like that, the part that people do not understand is, when somebody turns their life around, they're not trying to go back to what it was, especially if they have a positive outcome. So somebody like that, they're going to keep on working. You understand what I mean? And she wants to travel with him. I get that. In other words, she wants him to make her a priority. But the only problem with that is, men are always told to chase their purpose. You know what I mean? Like, that is your most number one thing. That's who you are. And if you're into a religious kind of thing, that's a God-given thing. That God put you on a planet for a purpose, and you whatever that purpose is. That's as far as the religion realm and things of that nature. But when you seek your purpose, you chase your purpose, things like that, you do get a lot of distractions. Like, even myself, as I'm doing this channel and I'm working, I get distracted. As far as I'm concerned, it's not necessarily bad distractions. I just understand that they are distractions. Different things like hanging out with friends, regular work, overtime, as far as my job, because some of my coworkers, they watch this, so they know. All that stuff gets in your way of your purpose when you're really truly trying to chase a purpose. So when you achieve the goal of your purpose, you're not trying to go back. You're not trying to necessarily go back to what it was that you were doing. So in the relationship realm, because I'm gonna touch on that real quick. In the relationship realm, you women want guys to, be a protector and a provider and things like that. And then some of you women, you need those guys that putting up them M's and all of that stuff. Now, in order for you to put up them M's, you're gonna be working 60 to 80 hours a week without fail. And that's just if you're in the office, you're a businessman. That's not even the business meetings. That's not, depending on what it is. Because you get that false sense of, like, even these athletes, not for nothing, they might have a small season and they might get like 60 mil or whatever, but they got to train all year round. They got to maintain their body. That's a constant hustle. And, it's kind of like the same thing happened with Tom Brady. It's a little different circumstance, if you will. He not ready to retire in his heart of hearts. whatever it is, that hustle, whatever that grit, because it goes back to, I don't know Tom Brady's whole story, his upbringing, and how he got to the NFL, because people don't realize though, to get into the NFL, NBA, as far as statistics, that's like, yeah, genetics even plays a role in it, if you will. Like, not for nothing, my father was 5'7", my mom is 4'11". Guess what? I definitely know I'm not going to the NBA just off those statistics alone. Love you guys, but still, that's the reality of it all. That's just what it is, and I understand that. So for these guys to achieve the things that they achieve and get to where they get to when it comes to these athletes, they're not ready to hang it up. Because I don't know, and this is no shade to athletes, I don't know their backup plans, like, because I don't know them personally. Like Judge Mathis, he's a judge. He could probably be a judge until he's 90, because you're sitting on the bench and you're litigating because he's getting paid for this. You know what I mean? He like doesn't have to. He doesn't have a time expectancy, if you will, as far as like beating up your body and things like that. And then he provided a lifestyle. He uses intellect, and I think when they Google his net worth, he's worth like 25 million. In 2024, yeah, people feel that's not a big deal, because you got billionaires running around, but 25 mil is nothing to sneeze about. Especially coming from how he came up. And to be told that he needs to slow down, like, it's either me or making this money. And the irony in that whole situation is just just like just like AM said. He said it's crazy because now that she gonna divorce him, he gotta work even harder. Cause guess what? 39 years of marriage. She getting that bag out of 25 million. That my math is terrible, but half of 25 million, probably even more. I mean, at least the kids are grown, but half of 25 million is already hers. And if he's worth 25 mil, that knocks him off half. He definitely got to work to get back to where he is. That's a whole thing within itself. I just found it interesting that a man could actually be a good provider and a woman still leaves him. It's like, what does that tell you about marriage and anything else like that? It's like, that shit ain't even fucking worth it. Like, real talk. hmm Because you know you got men out here that are not trying to work or are not trying to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, it should. Well, all in all, marriage is just, for us this day and age. Marriage is done. Marriage is cooked. Marriage is done. Especially, like I said, you see somebody that worked hard 39 years. Like, I'm not gonna put that man on a holy pedestal because I can only go off what I see. It's like, as far as I see, he wasn't out here cheating, no side relationship that I know of. I don't know, whatever, and provided and took care of his wife, and she gave him her ass to kiss. That is some ironic shit. That's really messed up. You know, and it just made me think, like, damn. Even if you work hard and hustle hard, just like I'm hustling doing this, I'm like, damn. I could hustle and all of that stuff and could be gone tomorrow. And so it's just, yeah. So that's pretty much my thoughts on that situation and everything else like that. But like I said, I just want to get on here for a little bit, talk my shit and address you guys and talk about these things real quick. Not going to keep you guys too long. Probably by the time you see this post, I'll have 2 more new shorts. Hope you enjoy them. Like I said, little by little, I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying to make this happen. And I just want to thank everybody for their support. And you guys have a good night.